Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, in this video we are going to cover Adamatar, Lord Kakophonist for the Emperor's Children. The Emperor's Children are known for their use of sonic weapons, and the Lord Kakophonist is no exception, using his skills to buff the damage of his allies. If you're here for a 15-second summary, this character is a melee character who increases his total hits depending on how many enemies he kills with his active. His passive grants ranged characters bonus damage, making him an excellent core piece for a ranged multi-hit team. However, as of yet, we don't have enough good ranged damage dealers, so it's difficult to assess his full impact. Adamatar is a rare unlock through the 2-week hero release event. As usual, Snowprint's art team have done an incredible job with the model and animations. This character only has one trait, the Emperor's Children faction trait, Thrill Seekers. I know that Mythic has been released, but I will continue to just highlight Diamond 3 stats for a while. Thanks to Talon, Tacticus, Ambassador and Friend, I have this nice radar chart to give you an idea of how he compares to other characters in the game. Adamatar has pretty decent defensive stats and average damage output, but I'll come back to that later. He has a movement speed of 3 and has the eviscerating profile on a melee attack that does 3 hits. His active is Doom Siren. This does direct damage to an adjacent enemy and up to 2 other enemies adjacent to the target. Adamatar then gains bonus hits for the rest of the battle, depending on how many units are overkilled by the attack. His passive is Obsessive Annunciation. All enemies adjacent to Adamatar take bonus damage from ranged attacks. Additionally, if an enemy is overkilled this turn, then friendly Chaos units also deal bonus crit damage to the same targets. The abilities are simple enough, but let's look at gameplay clips before diving into the numbers. In the first clip, you can see Adamatar using his active ability on the first target, and then damage is dealt to 2 adjacent enemies to the original target. After killing all 3 targets, you can see that our character's hits have been updated to 6 hits on his character card at the top of the screen. In the second clip, we combine Adamatar to Chiron. Here, when we move next to Gulgorts, the Orc war boss gets a debuff indicating that he takes bonus damage from ranged attacks. Chiron exploits that damage buff, and without any crits, it's almost enough to one-shot the boss from high ground. It's worth pointing out that this buff works for both characters and summons, in case someone wants to get creative and experiment with him alongside Tangida's Skitarii summons. One last thing, the ability wording here uses take and not gain, which means that ranged abilities also benefit from this character's passive. The gameplay is reasonably straightforward, and I thought we would move on to some math and graphs next, once more courtesy of Talon. Adamatar is supposed to give himself bonus hits through killing people with his active. You can see here through the green area that on his own, the damage from the active isn't super impressive. However, if you can get high ground and/or a single critical hit, things start to look more lethal. Remember how earlier Adamatar was sitting on the 41st and 58th centiles for damage output? If you're able to give him an extra 3 hits through kills by his active ability, he goes to the 94th and 99th centiles respectively. So if you can get the active to kill enemies, the character does become pretty strong. At the moment, Adamatar does not have any relics that are usable. His mythic missions are listed here on screen, and I'll pause for a while to let you digest. I suppose it's fairly clear that Adamatar was designed to potentially be part of a ranged attack team, potentially working with Chiron as part of a ranged multi-hit meta. As I spoke about in my Chiron video, there is a dearth of good ranged characters. Chiron seems decent, and along with the rework of Abaddon that's come this patch, we can start to sketch a team together. I'm running 2 teams here against Legendary 1 Call. The team on the left is more chaos based and truth be told probably takes advantage of Abaddon's new passive more than Adamatar's. In the second replay on the right, you can see that I used Darkstrider, who is probably the second best ranged damage buffer in the game. The numbers I put up here against Legendary 1 Call are pretty unimpressive, but I'll let both replays run side by side in case they provide some insight. They are rough showcases using Diamond 3 characters and level 50 abilities, but highlight that 1. The range team isn't there yet, and 2. Abaddon probably works as a better buffer than Adamatar for the Chaos units. I showed this slide during Chiron's showcase and the sentiment remains. I don't even know where a ranged multi-hit team might start to be usable. We might have to wait on other characters being reworked, such as Volk, but it seems much tougher to make the ranged damage dealer archetype work compared to others already in the game. Perhaps the bar for ranged characters has been raised too high, but it's a shame this team just isn't there yet. We've covered Adamatar's kit and gameplay, so here are a couple of summary slides showing his stats and abilities at various breakpoints. Feel free to pause or screenshot as needed. Here is my usual infographic style summary. Stats on the right are at Diamond 3. Thanks again to Tawan for comparing Adamatar to other characters. His stats are shown on the right hand side and we have discussed them already. So where is Adamatar good? In Horde modes, apart from a single active that does area of effect damage, Adamatar doesn't fit the conventional traits that make a character appealing for this mode. I've given him a 1.5 here. For war with the right buffers, the damage from his active ability might be okay, but he is reliant on others to kill enemies and I am not particularly excited to build a team around him. I've given him a 2.5. For guild raids, honestly, if this guy was supposed to be the synergy or build around piece for a ranged team, then I'm pretty disappointed. I don't think he or the team are good enough, and I've given him a generous 2.5 here. Overall, Adamatar is probably another piece for a theoretical ranged damage team. His active and passive don't really work that well together, and I think for the vast majority of the player base, you are better placed to watch and wait rather than dumping all of your resources straight away. I guess there is still a bit of time to cover friends and characters that Adamatar would like to be used alongside. I'll probably divide those by active and passive because each has unique asks. For the active, you want characters that buff his active ability. Tryon jumps to mind since he affords bonus hits and damage through his passive. Other options include Asoth and the newly reworked Abaddon. If you can give Adamatar lots of bonus hits through kills on his active, we have already discussed and demonstrated how powerful he can be. What about a ranged team and characters that could benefit from Adamatar's passive damage bonus? I'm showing on screen a selection of ranged multi-hit characters. Revas does the most hits with 9, but other options include Moghan Ra, Volk, and Chiron. Darkstrider is the best ranged damage buffer after Adamatar, and since the team largely does normal damage, Eldryon is an option too. I've left Shadowsun out because I don't think she's great. Have I missed anyone out? Let me know in the comments. Okay, that's it. Another character showcase wrapped up. Huge thanks to my Patreons for their support, and bye for now.